Coach Norvell touched on it, you know, if they make all their extra points, then they're not in that situation where they have to go for two, whereas, you know, Ryan was very steady and has been all season so far. How pleased have you guys been with Ryan so far?
You know, Ryan's off to a really good start. You know, it started with how he competed in fall camp. I thought he did a really nice job, and you know, it's carried over into the first 3 games. And you know, I think you can tell he's got some confidence to him in the way he's playing, and he should. You know, real confidence is earned through you know what you put out there on the field, and he's been able to do a good job so far. So you know, we look forward to that continuing. But I've been really pleased with how he started.
Chris?
The 2 miscues in special teams, the swift kick with Trey, and then Keon having the ball. I don't know if it hit him, but come close to hitting him. Just obviously it's something you guys practice the heck out of. How do you address it? What did you tell them in the moment, and how do you go about correcting it going forward?
You know, the first one, the squib, you know, just the whole scenario of how that kind of went down, obviously was 2-score game. I think it was 31-16 at the time. You know, third quarter still, we weren't really thinking to have our hands unit on the field yet, you know, not thinking it was an onside kick scenario. We saw that they were going to attempt an onside kick, called the timeout, and got our unit out there. You know, the handling of the squib, you know, it's one of those things that obviously you would love for that opportunity to have that play back, but you know, from a coaching standpoint, we got to put our guys in that situation more often, you know, where we have those live scenarios. Obviously, you know, he did everything that he was obviously trying to field the ball. You know, we got to be better in the moment, and we got to put them in more situations like that to help them when those situations present themselves.
Yeah, Coach Norvell mentioned you guys are close to returning one in the return game punt kick. How close do you think you guys are right now to that?
You know, I think there's pretty good execution, especially in our kickoff return unit. You know, and usually those big plays, you know, are a product of all 10 guys doing their job, with obviously the returner then doing his. You know, and we're really close. I mean, we're really close to having a big play happen there. But you know, it all has to come together for us at the right moment with the right kick. But we will have opportunities in both return units if we continue to play the way that we've been playing.
Aslan?
Is Jared's individual production or his presence and what it does, is that the bigger value for you guys right now on defense?
Well, you know, I think, you know, especially early in the season, you know, Jared's not going to sneak up on anybody, you know, and you know, I think teams are trying to find ways to you know, whether it's with a running back or a tight end, to try to slow him down in terms of pass rush. But his presence in and of itself creates opportunities across the board for the defense. And then, you know, I think game 1, I think, you know, he probably felt like he was getting a little bit frustrated, because I think he had that expectation for himself in terms of what he wanted to go accomplish. Game 2 and 3, he just went out and tried to play hard. And you know, I don't think Jared's real concerned right now in terms of statistical production. I know he wants those things to happen, everybody does, but I think he just wants to focus on playing hard, playing to the best of his ability, because the people who are doing the evaluation on him for the next level, they're gonna see, you know, his how hard he's playing, his want to, in terms of trying to do everything in his power to be successful. And you know, all the numbers will take care of themselves.
Well, 2 quick questions on the squib kick to Benson. What did he do wrong, if anything? I mean, balls bounce funny. That's why you kick them sideways and they take weird bounces. Did he do something wrong technically?
Not really. I mean, the only thing that I would say is when we're in a position to get on top of the ball as opposed to try to pick it up, we probably prefer to smother the ball in that situation. But there, you know, that's a judgment call in the moment by the player, because the ball needs to be rolling slow enough to feel like you can just get on top of it. But it is the tricky thing, you know. Obviously, footballs bounce all kinds of different ways, and it's hard to simulate that exact kick at that exact moment in practice. But it's something that we got to put them in that situation more often.
And on the Keon, the last punt return, did it hit him? What was there a reason he didn't? If you talk to him afterwards about it, why he didn't rush up and go catch that?
I think, we were in a punt safe setup defensively or on the punt return unit. So we really didn't have anyone protecting. And I feel like he knew that was the case. There wasn't a return set up with it. And I think he was in between thinking he could go get it and he couldn't. And he got caught kind of in that in-between mode, which is one of those valuable lessons for him as a punt returner, especially in this situation. Just get away. Like if you're not 100% sure you can go get it, get away. And if you are convicted that you can, then just go get it. But you can't live half in and half out. And he totally understood it, and it's going to be something he's going to be better at moving forward.
The way that game was going, what a break that it kicked. Just felt like the way that game was going, it would kick right to one of their guys.
Yes, I was very happy that it kicked out.
You said last week that Castellanos was in your recruiting territory, so you were very familiar with him. How different is it, or I guess Klubnik is athletic for a quarterback, but backups get athletic for anybody. What kind of challenge will it be to get after the quarterback this week compared to maybe what we saw last week?
Well, each week is kind of its own challenges across the board. I think you gotta, with Cade, you gotta have good rush lane discipline. He can run with the ball. I don't think they're gonna put them in as many quarterback design run situations as maybe that we saw in this past week. But, we gotta be disciplined. We gotta be structured in how we rush and what we do. And, and that's gonna be true no matter who you play against. But I think Cade's going to present a little bit different issues this week, but we certainly have to be disciplined in what we do.
Aslan?
You talk about guys not sneaking up on people. I mean, I guess maybe Patrick last year as a newcomer rookie, kind of put the conference on notice. What have you seen from him these first 3 weeks, and how do you plan to kind of manage him and his sort of expectations moving forward?
Yeah, I think Pat does a lot of things really well that probably go unseen. His ability to execute within the defense, his ability to play his run structure, his responsibility in the run. Those are things that always don't show up on stat lines. But Pat does a lot of things out there that have showed progress and growth for him as a player. Are the flash plays, are there quite as many as it felt like? Maybe it felt like his first year that every game he played in, he made some kind of flash play. But I would also go back and say in the LSU game, him batting down that pass on third down was a big play in the game. He had a TFL in this past game. So I think those flash plays are there. I just think we probably expect them more now. So Pat just got to keep doing what he's doing. He's got a bright future ahead of him, and it just got to be every week persistent growth and improvement as a player.
Dustin?
I think Jared led the team in snaps last game, I think it's correct. Is that by design, or do you guys want to kind of sub him out a little bit more and get him more rest?
A little bit of both. In terms of where we were depth-wise going into last game at defensive end, we knew that we're going to have to, some of the guys were going to have to handle some more responsibility in terms of snaps. That was already the game plan, that was to play him a little bit more than he had been playing anyway. His snap count got pretty high, and that wasn't totally the plan going in, but the way the game played out, it became a necessity. You get into that situation late in the game where the game was within 2 scores there in the last quarter. Your best players are going to be on the field, and and it's a situation where Jared wanted to be on the field, obviously. So we're going to do whatever we had to do to win the game.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thank you, JP.